Hey, welcome to the presentation. This is how to use social media for recruiting. So basically, we're just gonna set yourself up for success in recruiting while doing what you're already doing, which is on social media on your phone, tuned in to everything that's going on. So I'm gonna show you how to use it to your advantage. So for starters, who am I? I'm Akeem A. Shavers. I'm a former Division One athlete, former professional athlete, former CFL scout, recruiting coach, and I helped my first person go D1 back in 2010, just to show you how long I've been doing this. And I'm also the author of the scholarship offer system. And as you can see, I've been featured on some of these news outlets here and some of these websites and magazines and stuff like that. And let's see. So back to the real reason you're here. You want to know how I went from not being ranked or having 0 stars, as you can see on from my scout grade. It's the NR means not ranked. And far as position goes, and I can't remember which website this is in the second picture, but I was ranked number 3,276 in the state of Texas. Well, in the national ranks, and 368 in the state of Texas. That might as well be not ranked. And also in the last picture here, as you can see, Scout has me ranked as 2 stars. Rivals had me ranked at 2 stars, and ESPN gave me a not ranked grade. And if you know anything about Scout and Rivals, having 2 stars is basically you get 2 stars for participating. Well, you get 2 stars for your name being on the roster, if that makes sense. But I'm going to show you how I went from this to being on the recruiting radars of the schools that I chose, and I did it all through just using apps on my phone, like you're gonna see in this next slide. So using the same apps you have on your phone, I was able to get those type of results. I was able to generate exposure for myself using the apps that we all have installed on our phones, and I'm going to show you how to do the same thing with these. And it's going to be a fun process, and it's not going to be long and time consuming as everybody makes it sound, if that makes sense. So why is this more important than ever right now? So COVID-19, coronavirus, it has altered the way recruiting is being done right now. As you know, dead periods and quiet periods have been extended. Nobody's nobody's taking visits. Coaches can't interact the same way they used to. Nobody's going anywhere. So that's why this is important. And the crazy thing is, coaches are on their phones just like we are. We all have a bunch of idle time in a sense, depending on when you're watching this. But this is why learning how to interact and be proactive on social media is so important, because the coronavirus and our COVID-19, however you want to say it, has changed the way things are being done, especially in the world of recruiting. So the COVID recruiting advantages. So, like I was saying, all coaches in all sports are recruiting 100% online right now. They have no choice but to be online. And guess what? Just like me, they have social media accounts that they're using, that they're picking up their phones every 5 minutes, because there's really not too much else you can do when you're in quarantine or when you're kind of on a state shutdown or whatever it is. So coaches aren't at events. They aren't on vacation. They're definitely not in season, as you all know, and they can't work with their current athletes right now. So what else can they do? They have to recruit. They got to start getting ready for when athletics do start back, because they will pick back up. And that's another story, another topic for another day. But college athletics will resume, and they have to be ready. So they're gonna be doing all their scouting as much as they can right now. So with that being said, let's jump into the first topic here on how to use Facebook in athletic recruiting. Now, Facebook is, I know a lot of people might not use it now, especially if you're young athletes. I know you're not Facebook fans. This Facebook will probably be used more by your parents or something right now. But Facebook is one of the key, I guess, platforms you want to. There's only 3 platforms really that you need to use, and Facebook is one of the main ones, just because of how in depth you can get with like messaging and liking and everything that you can do. But I'm going to show you how to utilize it properly and set yourself up for success. And parents, if you're watching this as well, I'm going to show you how you could basically, you know, uh, give your kids a little push to set them up for success as well. set themselves up for success, because this is a team effort. It's hard to do it by yourself. I done it by myself, but it's when you make turn it into a family thing, it makes it fun. So, how to use Facebook to how to use Facebook in the athletic recruiting process. So definitely you want to clean up your timeline. You don't want to lose any chance at a scholarship because something you posted or something you shared is not that important. Trust me. And just here's a few things that you ought to remove. So anything dealing with drugs and alcohol, any harsh profanity like the B word, N word, anything like that, the MF, don't do it. That's a big red flag for a bunch of for all college scouts and coaches. And violent posts or videos. Don't share posts of fights. Don't share people, I don't know, getting hit by trains and whatever the stuff that's out there. Try to refrain from sharing that on your page, and just be mindful of what you're tagged in. There's a certain setting that you can put where you have to approve what people tag you in. I know that's definitely what I did, because if you don't, anything they tag you in just shows up on your timeline, and that becomes a reflection of you. And you don't want that always. You want to be able to cherry pick what type of content is being on your page or on your wall or whatever you want to call it. The next thing I want you to do is build up a recruiting page. You don't have to create a whole new Facebook page, but create an athletic recruiting page within the page you already have. So what this really does, it just separates your athletics and the recruiting process from all your personal stuff that you're doing on your page. Now, this doesn't mean that you can still be wilding out on your personal page, no, because they're still going to look at it. But this recruiting page is just another outlet that they get a better feel for you as an athlete by they get to guess judge you as an athlete completely on this page. That's what we're going to use it for. And with having this dedicated page just to recruiting, you get to track and see who likes your posts. You can start building your brand, even though I know that's not something everybody wants to do or even have aspirations of. But you got to remember that that brand, that even if you don't want to build a brand, you're building a brand. You have to keep that in mind, because you're going to be representing the name on the front of the jersey and the name on the back of your jersey. And no matter what sport you're playing, people are going to look at you as part of this conglomerate of people, that makes up this team. And you want to be as squeaky clean as possible, in a sense. Not really squeaky clean, because everybody's not squeaky clean, but you want to be yourself, but you just want to always be cognizant of what you're doing and who's around you, because in these days, people are watching, phones are everywhere, and nothing gets missed. So next, what you want to do on Facebook is something that I took a lot of pride in and put a lot of effort into finding these people. And what you want to do is you want to friend request college coaches. Like sending college coaches friend requests is one of the fastest ways to get your name out there. This way you're going straight to the source. You don't have to worry about signing up for a recruiting service or anything like that, or just hoping that they know who you are, hoping that they know your name, anything like that. And as a bonus, if when they approve your friend request or whatever, it avoids your messages going to the other inbox. And if you ever sent a message and someone didn't reply, and they hit you up like a week later, telling, "Oh man, my bad, you went to my other inbox." This is gonna avoid that, because you guys are not friends, you are connected. And this also shows that you're interested in their school, interested in them as a coach, interested in what they have going on. So this also allows you to get a jump on others that's in your position or in your class, because everybody won't be doing this. Everyone is not gonna take the initiative. And if you can get your name out there sooner, get on the recruiting board sooner, that's gonna set you up for a bunch of success. It's gonna make your process a bunch more enjoyable, and it's gonna be crazy. So all right, so we're gonna make a Facebook page for your recruiting. So what we're gonna do is click those three little lines at the bottom there. You're gonna go to your pages when that menu pops up, and then you're gonna go to create a page. Well, just create. So I got a lot of pages, don't judge me. So you're gonna get started. We're gonna click this little blue button here, and we're just gonna select the category. Since we're doing a recruiting page, we're gonna type in athlete. That's gonna be our category. So after you do that, you hit done and you hit next. So what do you want to name this page? We're gonna name it your name. or you could do like your name plus recruiting, or your name plus athlete page, or something like that. And if you have a website or a recruiting profile that you know the link to, you should put that there. But I'm just going to put one of my websites here, and it's going to be www.scholarshipoffersystem.com. And I'm going to just hit done after I'm done with that, and I'm going to hit next. So after we hit next, we're going to go to add our profile images and our cover images. So I'm just going to go through and find a couple football pictures for me, see what I like. Just select one, crop it, pan it to where you need it to be, where it looks decent, and you hit use. Then we're going to add our cover picture here in a second. After that, let's get through loading, and we're just going to go in, and we're going to find just something that we like. So you don't have to go and get anything professionally made, but just something that has your picture on it with you in action. And in my opinion, that's the best way to do it. So we're gonna do that, and now we're just gonna create our first post. So it doesn't have to be anything too crazy or too thought out. Just something for your page's content. So I'll just put, hey, welcome to my recruiting page. I'll be posting the journey and the process. Yeah, the process and the journey here, and yeah, and stuff like that. So you're gonna hit share. You're gonna share that, and it's gonna be on your page. So now we're just gonna go and check out the little page, and that's it. And this is gonna be the page where we get all the scouts and stuff. They're gonna come. They're gonna look and check you out without seeing all your personal stuff as well. So now this is just a bunch of options you have here. You could create a whole bunch of stuff with this page. So now we're just gonna invite everybody that you know on your Facebook. So you're gonna select all and then hit send invites, and that's gonna get everybody to come like your page. So now that we learned how to create a Facebook recruiting page and how to use Facebook in the recruiting process, let's go into how to use Instagram in athletic recruiting. Now, Instagram is not as, I guess, much of a dialogue as it is with Facebook, but it is important to utilize Instagram if you're an Instagram person. So I know Facebook's not going to be for everybody. Instagram might work a little bit better for you. But the main thing is knowing how to utilize it and use Instagram in your favor. Plus, you already own it anyway. And that's the biggest thing. You're already using these apps. And if you want to be on the next, if you want to make it to the next level and be on the team that you want to be on, you have to utilize these apps in your favor. They're not just made to share pictures and all this like irrelevant stuff. These apps can actually help you get to where you want to be. Trust me, and it's not just in athletic recruiting, man. Just look at all the influencers out here. A lot of them want, a lot of these people weren't influencers before Instagram or Facebook or whatever. But so how we're going to use Instagram in the athletic recruiting process. So we're going to consider changing your privacy settings. You want to be in control of who sees what and who you allow inside of your world. Now, I know that's kind of crazy because everybody wants everything to be seen, and with all the hashtags and people finding your page, it creates a little rift between the privacy settings of having a public profile and having a private profile. But at this time, you want to control who sees your posts. You want to have a link to your highlights in your profile. And another thing, it forces coaches to follow you to see your content and to interact with you in a sense. So that's just something to think about. You do want that follow. If they do follow you, that means a lot, especially if they follow you on Instagram. It's a lot different than following you on some recruiting service website, because a lot of recruiting websites say coaches use those, but I know coaches personally who hates recruiting websites and stuff like that. But just like on Facebook, you also want to follow college coaches. This is the easiest way to show college coaches that you exist, because a lot of you out there, you're working hard, you're doing everything right, but nobody knows you exist. Trust me, I was in the same boat, and a bunch of the people that I helped over the years have been in the same boat. But when you follow these college coaches, your name shows up in the notifications, and this starts the relationship. So if they keep seeing your name in the notifications, they're gonna be like, "Who is this kid? Let me check him out, or let me check her out. What does she has going on? She keeps liking all my stuff." and it kind of lets them know that you're interested. And I always speak about this a lot. A lot of coaches don't have crazy recruiting budgets like the big D1 schools. D1 isn't for everyone, but I know that's something that a lot of us aspire, but some of us just want to play at the next level. And personally, I believe that if you take the right steps, there is a place for you to be. But just letting coaches know that you're interested is a huge weight off of their shoulders, and they get to save a little bit more money on recruiting. I mean, not, yeah, well, on recruiting trips because they have a very limited budget. I talk about this all the time, but if they know you're interested, that's like half the job. They already half the job is done. Excuse me, because they don't have to sell it as much. So after you've done all this and you've liked a few posts and stuff like that, and they kind of interact with you a little bit or notice that you're liking their post or interacting with their page, you want to slide into the DMs. You want to take the initiatives and let coaches know that you mean business. So you got to shoot your shot. If anybody knows that they got to shoot their shot, it's us as athletes. Because, like they say, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And this is the same for the recruiting process. So this also shows that you're interested, and coaches like when you take the initiative. You have to recruit the coaches just as much as they recruit you, and sometimes even more because some coaches don't know you're out there. So that's that. But when we're into engaging with college coaches on IG, you want to follow, like I spoke about earlier, follow coaches at the schools that you're really interested in and the schools that you feel that you have the best chance to get recruited by. I say this because following those coaches and being realistic in your school choice is going to set you leaps and bounds above everybody else. That way you're not just wasting your time. And this goes into knowing your talent level and knowing where you best fit, if that makes sense. So that's just a little caveat there. But you also want to like their post or their videos, anything that they post. When these coaches post on their feed and stories, like or react to the post, the name of the game is to be known. And that's when they see your name often. And that's why I say you want to interact and get your name in the notifications. Because if you see someone's name enough in your own notifications, you're going to go look at it and go check them out and see what this person is about. And if you like what you see, you're gonna follow and you're gonna continue to interact. But like I said, you also want to comment. So when they post, don't be afraid to leave a thoughtful comment on a post. It doesn't have to be some well-crafted 5 sentence paragraph, but make it relevant and respectable. It could be something as simple as good game, great win, glad you guys got the win, or something like that. It doesn't have to be too crazy. It just has to be something relevant and shows that you're watching. You know, if you're watching, they love it. And occasionally you want to tag these coaches in some of your athletic posts. Don't tag them in every post because that's going to get a little annoying. But every now and then it's cool just to show them that, hey, coach, I think this is something you should see. Excuse me, something that you should see. Excuse me. And also you want to turn on notifications for these coaches. So when you do that, you turn on these notifications for the coaches that you're following, so that you know when they post and when they're most active, and when you can be one of the first people to comment on their posts or interact with their posts. And when you do that, if they see that you're one of the first people to interact, when we post something, we always see who's the first person who likes it or something like that. And it's always like, okay, cool. But and this is the same thing when you post or you comment or you comment quick on their post. It's gonna drop that notification. They're gonna see your name again, and they're gonna be like, all right, who is this kid? Let me check him out. And if a coach takes the time out to mention you or respond to you in a comment, respond to a comment of yours, please respond. Trying to be cool and not respond in a timely manner can come off as you not being as interested. So please comment back when you're able. I know we're in an age where it's cool not to be in a rush, or it's cool to let things kind of, I guess, I don't know how to put it, but to let things marinate a little bit because some of y'all are too cool for school. But when it comes to this part of the process, you want to be proactive as possible. You want to be responding as soon as you can. It's cool if it's later and you just happen to miss it or something, but as long as you respond with something thoughtful and relevant, you should be good. So, moving on, we're going to go into how to use Twitter in the athletic recruiting process. Excuse me. But Twitter is going to be one of your best friends. I say this because a lot of the coaches are still on Twitter, and that's kind of like I guess, the social media platform that they adopted to be like theirs. That's where they're most active. That's where they're doing all of the recruiting. That's where they're jumping in DMs. As they're following, they're tweeting back because it's so easy to type up a 140 character text message and shoot it out to where you need it. And it's real quick and it's real convenient for coaches. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons why coaches have like adopted Twitter as their main platform. So going into it with Twitter, you want to tweet good tweets. So before you tweet, just think about like what your parents would say about the tweet. If they wouldn't like it, don't tweet it. Better yet, think about what your grandma would say, or your grandpa, whoever has that type of impression on you, where you kind of like monitor your words around them. Think about what they would say about that tweet before you tweet it. So you want to tweet things coaches want to see. Tweet good stuff. Maybe tweet stuff about the recruiting process, or about last week's game, or about a recruiting visit that you take. Excuse me, that you took. Anything that's positive and showing that you enjoy your sport and the process that it's taking you. I mean, the journey that it's taking you on. You also want to avoid profanity and violence again, because Twitter is another place where those type of videos and posts can kind of sneak through the cracks. But you want to avoid it as well. And like I said earlier, you want to tweet about the process. Tweet about what's going on. Tweet about ACT scores, or that. Tweet about your eligibility. You know, just tweet about good news that coaches want to see, and that's going to help them want to recruit you more. And again, you want to follow college coaches. This is the easiest way to show them that you exist again. So your name shows up in notifications, like I was speaking about earlier. That starts the relationship, and then that lets them know that you're interested. It's the same thing. It's just a different platform. So you just want to always kind of, if you ever heard the saying "out of sight, out of mind," you want to be in sight and mind. You know, you never want to let them forget about you. And I'm not saying bug them or become annoying, but from time to time, be on their mind, show up in their notifications. After a while, they're gonna get curious to see what you're about, and that could lead to a follow, that could lead to a DM, that could lead to a scholarship. You never know. These are crazy times, like the radios and the TV shows and the commercials say about uncertain times. It's uncertain what could happen, but it is crazy what could happen with a few tweets and a few retweets and a few hearts. So next, you want to create a Twitter list. Well, a few Twitter lists. So Twitter list is like an athlete's best friend in a recruiting process. I was taught this kind of late, but man, it changes the game, and I'm going to show you how to do it here in a second. But so really helps you stay organized on Twitter. It helps you find your coaches quickly, and you can have several lists. You can really have as many as you want to, I believe. But man, when I say this list is going to change the game for you. The way I show you how to break it down, you're gonna thank me for it later, and you can just thank me by joining this Facebook group that I'm gonna invite you to at the end. But all right, so this is how you're gonna create a Twitter list from your phone, and we're gonna go from there. All right, so we're in my phone. We're logged into my Twitter profile. So you just click your little Twitter picture up there and click list, and we're gonna go create a list. So if you haven't have any lists in here, just click that button. Then we're gonna name the list. Normally I name it something like most active coaches or most interested coaches. It's just up to you, whatever you can remember and whatever works for you. And after that, you want to put in a quick description, just something that lets you, it reminds you of what this group is about or this list is about. And always set this to private because this is for your own personal use. So hit the create button, and then it's going to bring us to like a search option. And the search option, you get to add who you want to add. So I would look up coaches that you know, or coaches that you want to reach out to. Most of them have Twitter accounts, so you just go in and add it. If you're not following them, just hit the follow button, and you go from there. So we just added Coach Cornell Jackson to our list, and now this is where we're at now. So we're gonna go in and edit our list so we can add more people. So now you're gonna go to members and go to suggested, and The thing about this, you could add in as many coaches as you want to, but I would keep it simple. Don't add too many coaches because you want to be able to keep up with who you're following. So just add a few coaches each list. You don't want no any more than 50 coaches all together, because that's a lot of work, and we didn't sign up to do a lot of work in this thing. So if you can't find a coach, also try putting coach in front of their name, and that should help bring it up because a lot of coaches have coach in front of their Twitter handles. So you go in, follow that coach. You could use the suggested suggestions as well, and you can go from there. But this is basically how you build your list. So you can go and click done, and now you can see that you have 3 members in your list, and it creates almost like a its own news feed in a sense of just those coaches. So when you want to know what they got going on, just go to that feed. But now let's create another list. This is going to be like a mid-tier list of what you should do of coaches that are somewhat interested. See the 25 character thing I was speaking about earlier. That's that. So just again, like the last list, name it and give it a description that helps you remember, and always set it to private. Then create the list. So now you go in and add your coaches again, and it just depends. Like coaches that you think have somewhat of an interest in you, just add them to this list. Now this is for like demonstration purposes only. I don't know all of these coaches, and I haven't had a conversation with all of them, but I have spoken to most of them in one form or another. So you could do the same thing. You just keep building your list, and we'll go from there. So, and like I said, we're gonna build these lists out to where we create our own timelines of these coaches. That makes it easier to access, easier to keep track of what they're doing, and that's the whole idea behind these lists. So you want to always find the coaches that you want to find. I meant to pick Jim Tressel. I don't know why I picked that guy. But anyway, after you added all the people you want to add, you click done, and it takes you to that news feed. This way, if a coach tweets something or they retweet something, that's way you could be more active and kind of and proactive about it, and always be in their notifications. You don't have to like and reshare everything or retweet everything, but every now and then go in and like it, go in and comment, go in and do a little something that makes your name pop up in that notification. So now we want to go in and add some more coaches to our suggested list. So we got Coach Price Ferguson here. He used to be at Washington State, so these are all football coaches if you don't know, and this works across the board no matter what sport you play, because most coaches are active on social media. They have to be in 2020. So go in and you add more people to your group. See if you see anybody that you like to add, and add them, and that again creates your list. See, this is your that timeline for most active coaches. I went back and added a few, and you could do the same thing for each one of your lists. You could change the header if you want to. It's not something that I would do, but hey, not that important. So now we're going to create another list. This is kind of like schools that are not really interested in you at all, but you want to give it a shot. So let's go for it. Just like the first two lists, we're going to name it and give it a description, and we're going to set it to private. So um, yeah, it's very simple, plain and simple when it comes to doing stuff like this. Yeah. All right, so now we're just gonna add a few people to this list, and we're gonna build out that timeline, and we're gonna go from there. So why this is important? I just want you to check out these tweets from college coaches. Excuse me, but yeah, this is very important because college coaches are watching and they have tabs on everything. Some schools even have like a dedicated team of people just to track your social media activity. It's that serious. So just check out a couple of these tweets. So at the top left from Coach Coach Sean Kovic. Dear recruits, if I research your social media and find multiple uses of profanity / pics of alcohol, will likely cost you a scholarship. Hashtag next. So Derek Jones, he says our jobs depend on the young men that we recruit. Your social media pages say a lot about your character, discipline, and common sense. So these coaches are letting you know that they're watching. At the bottom, Herb Hand dropped another prospect this AM due to his social media presence. Actually, glad I got to see the real person before we offered him. That's crazy. Like they are watching, and y'all still out here wilding out. I mean, hey, enjoy your Twitter, enjoy all this, but just know when it comes to the recruiting world and the process that these coaches are watching. So look, never let a 140 character tweet cost you a $140,000 scholarship. Pound sports or hashtag sports. So Coach David Mosley at the bottom just dropped another recruit for profanity and acting like a fool on social media. If you can't be trusted on Twitter, how can you be trusted with our logo on your chest? That's a good question, Coach. So, moving on. Even more tweets. So, unsigned 2020 recruits, we're still recruiting. Drop your film, and the DMs are open. If you're still looking for a home, our staff has ample time to review film. Come join our family and a stacked 2020 recruiting class. See, this is more of a positive tweet, but that goes to show what I told you about falling in the DMs and being active and engaging with college coaches on these platforms. What it can get you. They're letting you know that they have spots available. But DK McDonald, top right, recruits. We just rejected a recruit due to his tweet. Reminder, don't cuss, use the N word, middle finger, or disrespect women on Twitter. It's simple. Stuff that you've been taught all your life. Don't get on social media and forget. So, this one from Penn State football, right here in the middle. I distinctly remember a player last year who signed, was a big time kid, had interest in us, and his Twitter handle was something that I can't repeat here. I just kind of said, what are we going to do here? This is about as obvious as it gets about what kind of thing we're dealing with here. So we backed out altogether. He probably lost a bunch of Big Ten offers, but you never know. So these tweets, I just pulled them up here just to show that they are being watched, like you are being watched, and parents maybe try to help monitor what your kids are doing as well. I don't want to give you another job, anything like that, but just stress to them the importance of what they say and what they tweet can how it can affect them because it really can. And yeah, I don't want that. I don't want anybody to lose a scholarship or anything like that off of something that could have been avoided. Just a big brother in me that's looking out. So conclusion, man, we went over how to use Facebook, how to use Instagram, how to use Twitter in the recruiting process. I showed you how to build a recruiting page on Facebook, as well as how to create lists on Twitter to track the coaches that you're interacting with and track the coaches that you want to interact with. And I showed you how to keep them in a nice, neat little timeline where you only deal with those coaches. That way you stay organized throughout the whole process. I also broke down the importance of this time and how you can capitalize on it. So don't sit back and not take advantage of this time because this could, like they say, millionaires are made in recessions or whatever. Scholarships are given out in times like this as well. So go get yours. It's out there for you. And I want to see you at the next level. But moving forward, I do want to invite you to join my Facebook group. Come join a group of like-minded athletes and their parents as we come together and discuss everything athletic recruiting in this group. That's actually the name of it, Everything Athletic Recruiting. You can look it up on Facebook, or you can type in this link, https://bit.ly/EARFBG. That's going to get you into the Facebook group where we can interact. I'll be in there every day answering questions, dropping videos, sharing new information, and I'll keep you like notified and updated on what's going on in the recruiting world. And I got a free recruiting checklist for you. So this free recruiting checklist is just a click away. Use this checklist to make sure that you or your child, your athlete, are on the right path in this recruiting journey because things can get a little bit crazy, and with timetables changing and stuff like that, you definitely want this checklist. You can grab it from the link right there below and give you time to screenshot it or write it down or whatever you need to do. But If you do want to go over this again, these videos will be in the group separately. So I'll have the video of the Twitter list creation. I'll have a video of the Facebook page creation, and just a whole bunch of other videos as well, ready for you to come check them out. So with that being said, thank you for staying with me this long. And if you have any questions, join that group. Hit me up. Hit hit me up on Facebook Messenger, and let's get you going. Remember, you're only one offer away. This is Akeem Shavers, and I enjoyed this time with you. Have a good one.